Welcome to White Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, The Strangers Chapter 3 arrived on home video. The slasher horror film is the third and final installment in the trilogy of Strangers films from director Renny Harlin, as there was previously a film in 2008 and another film in 2018. But starting in 2024, then in last year, there's been a trilogy of Strangers films from director Renny Harlin. The film stars Madeleine Petsch, Gabriel Basso, Emma Horvath, and Richard Brake, reprising their roles from the previous films in the trilogy. The film revolves around Petsch's Maya after she survives an attack by the Strangers, again as she tries to escape the town while seeking revenge against them. And then there's a little bit of backstory about the Strangers revealed in this film. The film was released in cinemas in February to both critical and box office disappointment. As well, the other films in the trilogy were also panned by critics, but they did modest box office numbers. But this one, I don't think. I think was a box office disappointment because they haven't published what the budget was. But the other films in the trilogy were panned by critics, but I really like them, and I've said on this program I really like those films. So I watched Chapter 3 for the first time this week. I didn't have time to rewatch the first two films, which I actually really wanted to do, but maybe at some point I'll do a trilogy binge watch. But yeah, I watched Chapter 3 for the first time this week, and actually I enjoyed it. Visually, there's visual moments in the film where they look like they had run out of money. As there was some really bad CGI in the film. Like, there's a very obvious CGI mile marker sign. But on the whole, Petsch gives a solid lead performance. The script is, actually, I'd say, delightfully twisty, and Renny Harlin's directing gives the confrontational scenes between Petsch and Basso an erotic to and fro, because those scenes were between them while he was unmasked were actually quite charged. So I give it's not one of those horror films you don't really take that seriously. I know, it's sort of one of, it's almost in the style of horror films that were released straight to video in the 80s, like the Video Nasties, or sequels to like slasher franchises like Halloween or Saw. Yeah, you like the first film. It's like, yeah, you take the first one seriously, but after that, it's just for fans. It's just for the fans. Critics can say what they want. It's just for the fans. So yeah, I gave Strangers Chapter 3. I gave 3.5 stars out of 5, and it's available on home video now. This weekend, the supernatural horror film Obsession releases in cinemas. The film stars Michael Johnston and Indy Navarrete, and revolves around a music store employee who has strong feelings for his childhood friend and co-worker when he comes across a pillow that grants wishes, which he uses to get her to love him more than anyone else in the world, but she ends up becoming clingy, obsessive, and erratic to a horror movie degree. The film received about 96% positive reviews from critics, so that's actually pretty good. And I know it did well at horror screenings on the festival circuits and whatnot. But yeah, it's been praised for just being a generally crowd pleasing horror movie that's disturbing and thrilling. So Obsession is in cinemas now. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I'll be talking about Jack Ryan, Ghost War, and The Mandalorian and Grogu. See you next time.